What's going on YouTube? So there's something about a large executive performance sedan that just makes the driver feel special. And that feeling of specialness is what Audi is going for with this all new product we've got next to us right here today. This is the brand new Audi S6 e-tron. But expectations are high because people expect sedans in this class to do nearly everything. So we want to know, is this sleek and speedy performance sedan the sedan for you? Well, let's go ahead and find out. Let's go ahead and kick things off with our quick spec dump. So this e-tron S6 is powered by a 100 kilowatt hour lithium ion battery pack. That makes up to 543 horsepower with the launch mode, which is good for a 0-60 of 3.7 seconds according to Audi. Now in terms of your range, it can be up to 324 miles.
Now, as far as the base price for this model, it's $78,000. And if you're looking to buy one or any new vehicle, we'd encourage you to go to carconfections.com/newcarquotes to get the best price.
But let's go ahead and close up the hood because, of course, this all-new model has a very nice-looking exterior and a lot of technology to look at on the inside. So getting started here with our exterior design, obviously this is a brand new Audi product and it's got their latest design language on board. So you'll notice up here in the front, we have a mostly body color grille going on, but on the S you do have some accents running throughout. And we also have the black optic package on today's tester. So what that's going to do is black out all of this area here, really giving it that nice aggressive look that you expect from an S product. Now another thing I want to highlight is that you have the illuminated logos right through there. And the vehicle itself, very aerodynamic as well, of course. It has a 0.23 coefficient of drag. That's actually the most aerodynamic Audi that they have ever made, and we'll talk about range and stuff like that later on. Now in terms of the lighting here, of course you've got the new split design. So up at the top here, this is your daytime running light and your turn signal indicator. Now what's special about this is that when you get the S6 here in the Prestige trim especially, this gives you maximum customizability. You can change a ton of different designs throughout and customize it to your individual design. Of course, you also have the dynamic turn signal as well. The headlights themselves are in this housing right here, and these, of course, are full LED. Now, as we move on to the wheels, the S6 comes standard with a 20-inch alloy. However, we've got two different 21-inch options as available. This is the black optic wheel. So as you can see, you've got the 5-spoke design right there with the gloss black finish and contrast elements. I think it looks fantastic, especially with the red performance brake calipers peeking out from behind. I also want to point out that we've got summer tires on this model, and these are staggered width, so they're a little bit wider in the rear. As far as the mirrors are concerned, you've got the gloss black finish up here as well, and they come standard with all the features, including auto dimming.
Now at the side of the S6, the overall vehicle length is 194 inches, which is a pretty big sedan. And I do want to mention, this is called the S6 Sportback e-tron. And the reason it's called the Sportback is, of course, because this vehicle is a Sportback, which does mean that it's uniquely different from the upcoming A6 model. That will be about 2 inches longer, and it's actually going to be a traditional sedan. So if you want the Sportback body, you will have to choose this electrified version. Now, as far as design touches, the roof is going to be fully blacked out. And then as we sweep into the rear, I have to say this is one good-looking Sportback sedan model. Sometimes with the electric models, they can look a little frumpy, but this one I think looks very handsome and premium. Now, as far as some of those individual design touches, you will notice that we have a little bit of a spoiler right here. It's going to be in a gloss black color scheme. And then dropping to the lower area, you'll find the full-length LED taillights. Now, this is something that's swept across the entire Audi lineup, the full-length design. You are going to have very premium lighting elements, as you would expect as well. So we have the dynamic turn signal, the LED reverse light, and this taillight unit itself is actually an OLED taillight design here on the S6 Prestige model. So that's going to be brighter and also allow for more customization. Now, as we drop down to the lower fascia, this is also very aggressive. Of course, this is electric, so you're not going to have any exposed exhaust outlets, but it is going to have a nice aggressive look. Now, when it comes to your safety systems, you do have 3 out of 4 active safety features as standard equipment when it comes to this S6 model. That is going to include things like adaptive cruise control. And if you choose at least the Premium Plus trim level, that will give you every system. That will include lane keeping assist as well as the lane centering function with the adaptive cruise. But guys, there is a very premium cabin and it's also tech-centric. But first, if you're new here, we're brothers and we've been reviewing cars since we were 12
and 16. We started young, and since then we've reviewed over 2,000 cars at every price point.
No matter what you're looking for, from sound level readings to cargo measurements, we'd love for you to subscribe to be a part of our Car Confections family.
Let's learn a lot and have some fun with all the latest cars. And let's go ahead and take a look at the interior. First, here's our key fob. It's the newest Audi key fob design, little S logo on the back. Obviously, you've got a standard smart entry system, and you also have the digital key system as well. Now to get inside, there's no pop-out door handles or anything like that. You just reach behind the handle and pinch the little pad there, and that will open up the door. Now, taking a look at the interior. Obviously, you're going to see the latest and greatest Audi design language. You're also going to see a lot of luxury touches as you expect for a luxury performance sedan / sportback like this. Now, we'll start off by talking about the seats as always, though. When you choose the S6, this really elevates you up. You're going to get a full Napa leather with a quilted design, and these are the sport bucket seats. So as you can see, really unique look here with the stitching design, kind of waterfalls down. I really like the way this looks. You've got 2 different color choices. You can get black or you can go for the more expressive red that we have today. Now the seats themselves have lots of adjustment. This button right here though is something a lot of you guys will be interested in. It's a power massage, and that does come standard on the S6 e-tron. Memory seats are located right there on the door trim, and without further ado, let's climb on inside. And now they've climbed in. You can see it does fire up the vehicle without even pushing the button once you just get inside. But before we get into specific details, let's talk about the material quality of the interior. So with the S6, we're going to have the suede inserts over here for our door trim and your armrest. You also have the carbon inserts right through there and a soft touch plastic along the top. As we look at the upper dashboard, this is all finished in a nice leatherette material with a stitching detail. And then through the center section, we have more of the Dynamica with stitching. Down here on the lower panels, this also has a little bit more of the Dynamica as well as the armrest. Jumping into some individual interior details, let's begin with our gauge cluster. So this, of course, is kind of the latest Audi thing. This their new digital stage is what they call it. So it's a dual screen arrangement. You have 11.9 inches for your gauge cluster, and it is reconfigurable with a few different design options and customizability features. Now, in terms of what is even cooler, though, that's the head-up display. So on this model, you've got the augmented reality navigation head-up display. So it's got all types of stuff. You actually can see in it right now. You have those huge arrows that actually point you exactly where you need to go on the road. In person, it's really quite phenomenal and very, very helpful when you're navigating. Now, as we pull back to the steering wheel, the S6 does get a special flat bottom S design steering wheel like other S products. You have the perforated leather here on the sides. The wheel itself is power, tilt, and telescoping. We also have heating on the Premium Plus grade and the Prestige trim. Now, let's take a look next at some interior storage. I'll open up our center console here. First of all, you can see we've got, looks like some owner manuals and stuff like that inside. But what's cool about this is that it's not just here. It actually turns and goes all the way to about right over here. So you've got a lot of storage there. We're in California right now, so we don't have our donuts with us, unfortunately, so we can't do the donut test. But you can see it's really a ton of space, as electric products are good with the packaging. Now you've got your 2 cup holders right there. You also have a very large storage cubby, super deep, and a couple USB connections. This is where you'll find your wireless phone charging pad, which is standard equipment. Now as we move back, you've got a very small shifter for the Audi brand. Just pull back for drive, press forward for reverse. When you go into reverse, here is our 360-degree camera system. This is included with Premium Plus models and above, so you got the overhead view as well as that view. It does kind of turn with the vehicle as well. And then just press that P right there for park. Now there's not a ton of physical controls inside of this vehicle, but you will notice that Audi retains a physical volume knob for the audio system. So when you get the S6 Premium Plus or Prestige, that gets you the most speakers of the entire A6 and S6 e-tron lineup. It brings the total up to 20 speakers from the Bang & Olufsen 3D sound system, including 4 that are actually located in the headrest. Let's give it a sample right now. Wow, very nice. That sounded fantastic. Really filled up the cabin nicely with a balanced sound quality. Also, those headrest speakers, they're very good at isolating certain sounds. So when we were using navigation, it only came out of the driver headrest, for example, just because that's the only person that really needs to know. And I also want to point out that you do have advanced ambient lighting inside of this interior as well. Up at the top, you have kind of a light bar, which does respond to different things in the vehicle. One of the best applications is just visually showing you the turn signal, but also things like the voice assistant. Now let's talk about the display here. This is a little bit above 14-inch display, and what you'll see on here is really a lot of the rest of the interior functions, including climate controls. So down there at the bottom, you can adjust your climate up and down with those little toggles right there. Additional climate functions, you just press right there on that button and you can make those adjustments quite simply. All of the models will come with heated seats, of course, and also the S6 models will come with ventilated seats as well. Now as far as the display itself, this is the latest version of Audi's MMI interface. So this is going to be basically based on the Android OS system and using that as the background. So inside of this, of course, you have wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. Here's the built-in mapping system. So as you can see, it's very detailed, as you expect from the Audi brand as well. And again, that works super nicely with that head-up display. Now off to the side there, you'll notice a new thing that Audi's been bringing kind of across the lineup. That's the passenger display. So this is 10.9 inches, and this basically brings a lot of this functionality over here to the passenger side as well, because this display is actually tilted towards the driver. Now, inside of here, you can do things like navigation, those traditional infotainment things, but perhaps, more interesting than that is the fact that you can bring in media. So as you can see, you've got a browser, you can activate games, weather, YouTube, I think is a big one, so that you can stream car confections on the go. Up top, you've got the auto-dimming mirror with HomeLink universal remotes built in. And then when we get to the very top, you're going to notice a super large piece of glass. This is a standard panoramic sunroof, and it's got a very cool feature. So basically, you can customize how you want this configured with how opaque it is. So there's no traditional sunshade. You have what they call a digital curtain. So when I press back on this button, you'll notice it kind of slides back this virtual curtain, and now the light is allowed to freely come into the vehicle. Not only that, but I can also stop that at any individual place, so I can shade the back and leave the front available, and I can do customizable patterns such as a striped design for just different amounts of light coming into the cabin. It's certainly a very interesting thing that does stand out from a traditional sunshade, but of course, just be aware that you cannot open up this piece of glass.
Now that we're back in the rear seats, I do want to quickly mention that this vehicle does also have soft closed doors, so If you fail to shut it fully, it will go ahead and shut itself. And let's talk about the space figures for this S6 e-tron Sportback model. Now, as far as this area is concerned, you're going to have a pretty good amount of space. We're sitting at 35.2 inches of legroom and 37.6 inches of headroom. Those are, like I said, pretty good figures, although it is going to be a little bit smaller than that Audi A5 model that we just sampled out not too long ago. Now, of course, this is a Car Confections review, so we brought along our official Car Confections ruler to see how much knee room we have behind Drew's 5'8" driving position. I'm 5'9" for reference, and we are looking at 9 inches of knee room. That's pretty good, although my feet can't really slide up underneath of the seat too well. Now, as far as the seats themselves, they do have that same really nice quilted design for the rear. Of course, they do not recline though, so that is something to keep in mind. And you do have this nice fold-down center armrest with 2 cup holders inside. Now, as far as other features, we have vents located right here in the center section. We also have our own climate controls because, of course, it is a 3-zone automatic setup. And as long as you choose a Premium Plus or Prestige, you will additionally get the heated back seats as well. 2 USB ports down below that as well. They're a Type-C variety. Over on the door trim, you will notice that we have a pretty nice one. So it's soft touch plastic on the upper part, suede all through the center section, and we also have quite a bit of door storage. Additionally, we have vents located here in the B-pillar as well, so you're kind of getting hit from both directions, so I do like that as well. Now let's talk about the cargo area. Like I said, this is a hatchback. So one of the really great things about that is that you have more cargo capacity than you certainly would expect. So you have a hands-free power tailgate. And then once that opens up, you will find quite a lot of cargo capacity, especially for a vehicle that looks like a sedan. So you're sitting at about 26 cubic feet behind the second row of seats and a maximum of around 40 cubic feet of space. Now, for reference, that's really not too much smaller than something like an Audi Q6, which is, of course, an SUV. So I really like the practicality along with all the other elements of this vehicle. Now, as far as the overall cargo area, we have a 40-20-40 split folding seat setup. There are not handles to fold the seat, so I will have to go up there and do it manually, though. And now that they are folded down, we can get our cargo length, width, and height figures because, you know, this is a sleek sedan, but it also has a lot of practicality. So how much length do you have? 78 inches behind Drew's 5'8" driving position. That's really good. Behind the second row of seats, you can expect around 42 inches of length. As far as opening, 40 inches. And then as far as the height is concerned, I'm going to go ahead and estimate because there is a piece right there. But at the tallest point, you're probably looking at around 28 to 29 inches of height. But down here at the end of the cargo area, about 16 inches is what you can expect. Underneath of the cargo floor, you will not find a spare tire, so that is something to keep in mind. And by the way, if you are possibly looking to cross-shop this with any other vehicle market on the segment, we'd encourage you to go to carconfections.com/vehicle rankings to make an informed buying decision. There we've gone through numerous vehicle categories out on the market, and we've ranked individual cars in those categories, and you can sort based on what's most important to you. So if you want to make an informed buying decision, definitely use our tools at carconfections.com/vehicle rankings.
Now, we briefly touched on it already, but let's go ahead and get into some more details about the powertrain on this S6 e-tron. So this is using Audi's new platform, their premium electric platform, and the battery pack on this is a 100 kilowatt hour lithium ion battery pack. Now, 94.4 of that is going to be your usable capacity. Now, in terms of your power figures, this S6 Quattro with the dual motor all-wheel drive system makes 496 horsepower in your standard configuration, and then up to 543 horsepower when you activate the launch mode. Now, when you do that, Audi says that this model is capable of going up to 60 miles an hour in only 3.7 seconds. Now, in terms of your range, the best range that you can get out of the S6 is going to be with the 20-inch wheel option, not the 21s that we have on this model, and that will give you up to 324 miles of range. Now, talking a little bit about charging, this does not yet have the NACS charger, so it doesn't support NACS yet. However, Audi says they are working on that capability soon. It does have dual chargers, so you can charge AC on both sides, and then DC charging is on the left-hand side. And when you do the fast charging, you can charge it up to speeds of up to 270 kilowatts from this 800-volt architecture. So 21 minutes will get you from 10 to 80% capacity. And this model does also come with a sport-tuned air suspension.
So let's talk pricing for the Audi S6. Now, it starts at around $78,700 for the base model. If you want the Prestige, that's going to go up to about $84,600 as a starting point. Now, keep in mind, you have standard Quattro all-wheel drive. Now, if you look at this one, we have pretty much every option that you can get. So we have the Prestige, we also have optional paint color, as well as the black optic package, $1,295 destination, $88,390 is what we are sitting at today. Now, if you're looking to buy an Audi S6 or any new vehicle, we'd encourage you to go to carconfections.com/newcarquotes. The reason you do that is because we have a tool on our website that will connect you with local car dealers in your area to get you the best price. It's also going to give you access to invoice pricing information, which is a great tool for dealership negotiation. If you'd like to take advantage of that, as well as things like our monthly payment tool, you can find that in our video description, as well as a pinned comment at the top of this video. First up, let's talk about resale value. As an economics graduate myself, we took the time to develop what we think is a good estimate for this Audi A6 and S6 potential resale value. We estimate that after 5 years and 60,000 miles, it'll be worth 40.5% of original MSRP, and after 10 years and 120,000 miles, 14.4%. Now, it's worth noting those are low figures for overall industry averages, so keep that in mind, but it is not out of line from other German rivals such as BMW and Mercedes-Benz.
Now, we've also done the same for reliability by developing the Combined Reliability Index. This takes into account several studies on reliability and combines them to give you a more holistic picture. In this regard, Audi is rated below the overall industry average for all vehicle makes.
Now, if you'd like to learn more about our resale values, our reliability data, or our methodology, be sure to go to carconfections.com/resale and carconfections.com/reliability. Buying a new vehicle is a very big decision, so you want to make sure you're making a smart purchase, especially if you're cross-shopping between different vehicle brands. I do also want to point out that electric vehicles do tend to have more variability when it comes to resale values. Now, when it comes to your warranty, you have a 4-year, 50,000-mile basic and powertrain setup. The battery itself is warranted for 8 years and 100,000 miles. And guys, that's going to wrap up our in-depth review of the all-new 2025 Audi S6 Sportback e-tron. If you enjoyed watching this video or found it helpful in your purchasing decisions, which we hope you did, we'd really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button down below. By subscribing, you're going to be a part of our Car Confections family. We review a lot of cars on this channel, and I promise you won't want to miss out. If you're already a part of our family, thank you so much for your continued support. And we'll catch you next time as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.